Hello guys, welcome back. This is Chris, aka Big Will, and here in episode 16, after the heartbreak of the playoffs last season in the First Division, we remain in that league, and today we have our opening league game against Burnley, followed by an away cup time against Preston. But firstly, we're going to go through some of the transfers that we've managed to get sorted so far. After that after that heartbreak of the playoffs, I did make some decisions in relation to letting players go and people coming in. As you can see, we've got plenty of money there, and you'll understand why that is in a moment. So, as you can see, there's plenty of business coming in with some few going out as well, but it actually started at this point in June. So in June, we signed Danny Pugh and Michael Rose on free transfers from Manchester United. They were pre-contract agreements, and they're both 17 years of age. And I thought, well, they'll go into the under-21 side, and if they amount to something great, if not, then well, we've not lost anything. They were free transfers, and I thought that they'd be quite useful in the future. So in terms of the first team, we then decided to have a look around. We brought in Kevin Davis from Blackburn, which I think I mentioned in the previous video. That was a deal that we had confirmed before the transfer window reopened. He's coming from £3 million from Blackburn Rovers. As you can see by his value, he's already worth more than that anyway. He largely made his career at Bolton in real life when they were in the Premier League. But as you can see, he's a very hard worker. He's got good physicals and he's a good finisher with good composure as well. My target basically is to play him wide right and be in competition with Sean Wright Phillips out there. And because of that, we've obviously managed to strengthen in that area of the pitch. We then had a quick look in Ireland, and Kevin Doyle, who played for a few Premier League clubs, Wolves and Reading jump out at me from the top of my head. He came in for £250,000 from Cork. As you can see, he came through their youth academy. He's only a 16-year-old. We signed him for 250,000, and again, he's going to develop into a really solid striker, I think. And for now, he is in our under 21s, but like I say, hopefully he will come good as well. In terms of outgoings in June, we did make quite a few sales. So it started with Craig Russell. He went to Birmingham for £250,000, along with Neil Heaney to Dundee United. That was also 250,000. And he had a really poor season last season, Sean Gota, and he really struggled to get anything going. So he went to Crewe for £1 million. Richard Edgehill again didn't feature a lot between left back and right back, so he went for £500,000. Matt Haywood left for Sheffield United for £600,000. Again, we made a decent profit on him. And we doubled our money on Darren Pearce. He also went to promoted Sheffield United for £2.5 million. Clint Hill, who had a big injury last season, with the damaged cruciate ligaments. I didn't feel like we needed him as such, purely because with an injury like that so early in his career, I didn't want to take the risk of anything long term. So he went for 750,000. Rory Delap was the big one. Now Rory Delap, I didn't want to actually sell him. And as you can see, his value is between 8 and 11.5 million. He signed for Southampton. We signed him for 1.1 million, and in the end, Southampton came in with a bid of 12 million pounds for the wing back. And I thought, well, it's 11 million pounds profit. We had to get rid of him in the end, and in doing so, it's left us with Stephen Carr and Danny Mills at right back. So we've still got plenty of cover in there. So in terms of more transfers in, we brought in left-back Nicky Shorey from Bolton for £1.6 million. I thought, again, it was a good piece of business. He's only 19, and at 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential, I think he's got a really good future here at the club. We also managed to finally, we were trying to get it done all last season, but it finally happened this time round. Craig Bellamy is coming for £5 million from Norwich City. We're training him to play on that left-hand side because then we've got that extra cover in there. And I think with the pace and his dribbling ability and the fact that he will be an inside forward, so he'll be able to cut inside, I think we'll have a really good player on our hands. He is described as a wonder kid in game as it stands, so really good signing for us. With the extra players leaving at centre-back with Darren Pearce and Clint Hill, we then decided to bring in Matt Upson from Arsenal. He was transfer listed, £550,000. He can cover at left-back as well, but I have predominantly signed him to play centre-back. He is 6'2", and with the fact that he's quite quick as well, I think he'll be a very solid option for us in our rotation. So Scott Parker was our player, of course, and he made it clear that he wanted to sign for Tottenham, and he had a release clause which I wasn't quick enough at renewing his contract, so he went for just £2.7 million. But they did loan him back to us with no extra cost, so we've got him free for the season basically, and we've gained 2.7 million. We then looked for another left winger. Obviously, Craig Bellamy's going to be the main one there. We've got Wayne Bridge as well, who can cover at left back. So Richie Humphreys came in from Champions League qualifiers, Sheffield Wednesday. So Richie Humphreys is a left winger. He can play in that centre role as well, but he is predominantly left-footed. But I think he will be able to cut inside and do a good job for us on that left-hand side. He's reasonably quick. He's not great, but he's reasonably quick and he's quite a strong player. And with a finishing of 17 as well, when he's cutting inside, he should do quite well out there. And the last signing that we've made so far is Chris McPhee. We have actually loaned him back to Brighton for the remainder of the season, but he could play attacking midfield right. He could play on the left-hand side a bit as well and up front. He's only 17 years of age, as you can see. He's a regen player and English, of course, as well. He's not very quick in particular, but again, going forward, he's very good. He works hard, really solid teamwork there, good determination. I really think he'll be a good signing for us in the future. We've loaned him out for the campaign, and I think he will do quite well. David Pizarro, who I failed to mention, we've loaned him out. I didn't want to, but he failed to get a work permit, so unfortunately, he has had to go out on loan for the season. So with those new signings, like I say, we've had a good clear out, but we've got a little bit of a better balance with the squad. We'll see how we get on. Pre-season has gone really well, and the first game is a tough away game against Burnley. So let's get into it here. So in goal we have Nicky Weaver. We've got Paul Robinson, Jody Craddock, Mark Smith and Stephen Carr at the back, Scott Parker and Michael Brown in midfield. Craig Bellamy is actually going to play in behind Cal Court for this game, with Humphreys on the left and Davis on the right. And our bench is quite strong from that as well, with Paul Robinson, who's potentially leaving the club for a £1 million deal to Charlton, but we have got a contract offer in for Jamie Langfield, who's a Scottish goalkeeper, to come in and be that extra backup. Danny Mills, Pollock, Wright Phillips, Van Boyton, Bridge and Sibierski are on the bench. Upson, amongst others, aren't able to get in the squad. I'm not entirely sure why Danny Murphy's not in there, but we've got that option anyway. We've got so many good players now, we can rotate. Kevin Sturrelegard came through City's youth academy. He is a Danish goalkeeper, and he is a real player that did play for City. Really happy to have him come into the senior side as our third choice. At the age of 17, he will improve, no doubt, and I'm really happy to have him in the squad. So here we go. Let's get this away game against Burnley underway. I'm hoping for a positive start. I think we've done well with the squad. I know we've lost a lot of key players, but at the same time, in signing players like Humphreys, who managed to qualify for the Champions League last season with Sheffield Wednesday, and the likes of Kevin Davis, who formerly of Blackburn, who was on loan at this level last year. Craig Bellamy was playing regularly for Norwich at this level last year. I think we've really strengthened the side, and I'm really happy to see how we get on. I am hoping for a positive start. It's a bit of a derby game away at Burnley, so let's see how we do. We're playing the exact same setup as we finished last season with. So the players know it, and this is the formation that we've stuck with all of pre-season, and it's been very effective as well. We've played some good teams in pre-season as well, and we've won by quite a number of goals, so hopefully we can continue in that vein. We have our first highlight of the season. It's Castledine back to Melville for Burnley. Now ready wide left, looking over the top for Maylett. It's headed away. Craig Bellamy gets onto it. Here comes Craig Bellamy. He's down this right-hand side. Still going. Loses out to Mellon, but Maylett can't win it ahead of Mark Smith. This is Kevin Davis to Michael Brown. He looked over the top and Bellamy didn't continue his run, and Ward with a comfortable claim. The highlight continues though with Ward's delivery forward. Here's Mark Smith. He has Stephen Carr available ahead of him, but he plays it back to Nicky Weaver to play it safe. Jody Craddock out wide to Paul Robinson. Looks over the top. Richie Humphreys. Can he get there? Yes, he can. He finds Cal Court, who's in behind. It's a good save. Kevin Davis scores. Is there a hint of offside there, though? It doesn't look like it. Kevin Davis has scored on his full debut for City. It's 1-0, and our right winger is off the mark here. I think the other advantage is with Humphries and Davis and Bellamy, they can all play up front as well, so they are goal scorers in effect. And I think having the three of them in behind our main striker in Kyle Court, I think it'll work out very well going forward. Stephen Carter to Michael Brown, Kevin Davis. Just holding on to it a little bit there and finds Mark Smith into Scott Parker, who's now on loan, of course, rather than a permanent fixture at the club. Now Craig Bellamy. Kevin Davis into Kyle Court. Brilliant play. It's 2-0. Kyle Court continuing where he left off last season. Really good start to this game for us here. And 20 minutes in nearly, and it is 2-0. We're looking really good going forward, that is for sure. Like I say, we have strengthened a little bit defensively with the signings we've made in terms of depth. I mean, Daniel Van Boyten, in my opinion, is our best defender, but he didn't get into the starting lineup today. I feel that Jody Craddock was a good option with Mark Smith, so we'll see how we get on defensively this season. Salico with a brilliant run for Burnley here. The shot is blocked, and Weaver claims it well. We're just coming up to the half-hour mark. Paul Robinson looks down to the left-hand side there for Humphries, who couldn't get there, and Geary clears to Davis. Now Castledine. Under pressure by Bellamy. Back to Davis. Now Geary. Holding on to the ball quite well here, Burnley. Here's Clark now. Into Geary again. He has support, Geary, if he can find it. He looks for Maylett, but Mark Smith easily clears. And now Kevin Davis has support ahead of him. Bellamy's made a good run forward. He finds Richie Humphries. It's Richie Humphries. Looks inside. It's 3-0. Half an hour gone. Richie Humphries scoring on his debut now. Really, really good start. And the fact that both of our wingers are off the mark early doors is really good. And Kevin Davis with the 2 assists to add to his goal as well. Really, really solid first half performance by our forward line. Here's Reddy, looking over the top. Maylett gets onto it, but his cross is blocked by Mark Smith, who clears. Richie Humphries couldn't quite get there. It's Little. Into Clark. It's a good strike from Clark, but it's just wide of the post. Excuse me, I do apologise. And as we come up to half-time, we've created the majority of the chances. Burnley actually haven't had a shot on target yet. Possession-wise, we could be doing a bit better, but I'm really happy with the fact that we've got this 3-goal lead as Bellamy finds Stephen Carr, and it's into Kevin Davis, and Kyle Court's in. It's 4-0 just before half-time. What a start to the season this is turning out to be. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And I think we've got the bit in our teeth after that playoff final disappointment last season. And going to ask the players just to keep doing what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with this performance so far, and there's nothing to suggest that we're going to give anything away. Kevin Davis, brilliant stuff from him. 3 assists and a goal on his debut. Really solid performance. We've got Paul Robinson here with a free kick, and it's a good save from Ward. And the goalkeeper will look to clear away here, which he does, looking for Salico. Salico was unchallenged there, which is a bit of a concern. Stephen Carr didn't get at him at all, and Salico continues down this left-hand side and whips it in, and it's come for Clark, and it's 4-1. It's Burnley's first real attempt at goal in this game, and I'm a little bit disappointed we've conceded, to be honest, considering how dominant we were in the first half. But again, lapses in concentration, they continue to happen. A little bit disappointing, but with a 4-1 lead, we are looking quite strong here. And Burnley are looking to come forward again with Reddy. Now Castledine, under pressure by Kyle Court. Melville, into Reddy again. Looking over the top for Salico. Salico whips it in. Weaver couldn't get there, and Clark has scored again. And again, defensively, we're very, very suspect. I'm going to get the players to focus a little bit, because defensively this is poor. We need to be on point in these games, and we need to not be conceding this many goals either. It's a game that we should be winning comfortably, and they've grown into this game here. And Clarkson again, and he's put it wide. We've got to be much better than this defensively. But this happened against Sheffield United at the end of last season in the league. We just started conceding goals, and we ended up losing the game. Here's Kevin Davis down this right side, whips it in, and it's Kyle Court with his hat-trick, and it's 5-2. The game's secure, but at the same time, like I say, defensively, we've got to be better than this. We're going to bring Kevin Davis off. He's had a brilliant first game, but he is on a yellow card. Don't want to risk anything. Bellamy has been a little bit quiet, but we're going to take Richie Humphries off, I think. We're going to put Bellamy out wide, bring Antoine Sibierski on. We're going to bring Wayne Bridge on at left back as well. Paul Robinson's had a bit of a poor game. Danny Mills can come on at right back. and I think we'll leave it at that just in case we do get any injury scares at the end. Here's Sturridge into Irwin. Craddock does well to get it away. Kevin Davis wins the free kick. I thought he'd committed a foul then when it said free kick for a second, and I thought we wouldn't be able to take him off. But here's Mark Smith, Jody Craddock now, moving the ball out wide to Wayne Bridge, who's playing left back rather than left wing, of course, now. Largely, we did play Bellamy out wide left in pre-season, and he was brilliant. We played some good sides, like I say, and he scored in most games from that left-hand side, which is a real positive, but he is still learning that position. We have got to keep playing him there for him to learn, so I'm quite happy to rotate him round into that position. He's such a quality player, and hopefully he will be able to develop well in that position. And Sean Wright-Phillips is in behind here, plays it into the centre. Calcourt scores. It's 6-2, 4 goals on the opening day of the season here for Calcourt. And I've got a feeling our strike force is going to be something to be reckoned with if this performance is anything to go by. Brilliant start. We've got Wayne Bridge with the free kick here. Looks to whip it into the far post, and it's in. It's 7-2. Mark Smith on the score sheet. And it's actually his first ever goal. He played for us most of the last season, of course, but he didn't manage to get a goal. 7-2. Brilliant stuff. And we are very much off and running. I think after conceding them couple of goals, we've woken up again. And we've looked quite good today. Like I say, defensively a bit disappointed, but Burnley have worked hard, and I suppose they did deserve a little bit of something from the game. But we've certainly been ruthless going forward, which is good to see. But here's Sturridge now for Burnley. Surely it's not another, it is. Simon Sturridge scores. It's 7-3 now. What an opening day this is. Again, defensively suspect, but we're looking very dangerous going forward. We need to be tighter at the back, but a really positive start to the season. 7 goals scored and a good 3 points to start the campaign off. Yeah, see the thing is, if you get so far ahead in a game, the players will start to get complacent, and unfortunately, when players do that, it's dangerous against any team. We've got to be on point for things like that. There's only a few in-game days to get through until we get to that Preston game in the Cup, so I'll just carry on straight through and show you a few bits and pieces along the way. Hopefully we can confirm the exit of Paul Robinson as our substitute goalkeeper. I didn't want to offload him, like I say, but he is a player that wants to go on to bigger and better things, and the fact that we didn't get promoted was a shame. We have had more loan offers come in for John Mackham, which we've accepted. We've had a transfer offer for Peter Crouch, which we're rejecting. We keep getting bids for Jamie Pollock as well. We'll reject that as well. We've had a bid for Damien Francis there, reject that. Jamie Langfield is in for £250,000. Solid signing in goal, quite happy with that. And as such, I mean, he's only a 2-star goalkeeper. He's got 3.5-star potential, but he seems quite decent. He's a very determined character. He's got quite good agility. His jumping reach is good at 6'4". Handling on one-on-ones is great. His kicking's not the best, and his command of area isn't great, but aerial reach is good and reflexes are quite good as well. He'll act as a solid backup, I think, and for £250,000, I think it's a bit of a steal, and hopefully he will do all right when he comes in. Like I say, Paul Robinson should be leaving in the next day or so as well. And we've got Preston coming up, of course. Richie Partridge, let's have a look at you. Yeah, decent amount of pace on him, but his work rate's not particularly brilliant, so he's not going to be a player that we'll look at. But a really positive start to the season. 7-3, like I say, really good going forward. Bit suspect defensively, but we got a bit complacent. It's quite clear to see that was the reason that we conceded the goals that we did. But as you can see, with the balance of the squad that we've got now and the power that we've got going forward, I'm hoping that we will be able to fight for promotion this season and really push on from the achievements of last season. So it's the Coca-Cola Cup first round, this game away at Preston. Like I say, I'm hopeful of a good result. Any cup run will be great. It's good for finances, and obviously it's good for reputation as well. If we can prove ourselves in these competitions, then it will be quite good. Paul Robinson is subject to another £1 million bid from Ipswich, who were in the Premier League. They did get relegated last season to this first division, so Paul Robinson might not leave just yet, which is a little bit annoying. I was hoping that would get confirmed and sorted by now, but it doesn't matter. It'll go through when it goes through, I suppose. And with Preston coming up away, he won't be part of the squad. We'll bring Langfield in on the bench anyway, and hopefully we can pick up where we left off from that Burnley game and get some more goals under our belts. So we will see what happens from there. In terms of relegated clubs into the first division as well, let's have a look. See, if we go on to that, and that one and that one. Bradford, Coventry, and Ipswich got relegated last season, and as you can see there, Sheffield Wednesday qualifying for the Champions League in 5th place. What a season they had! So some tough games in this campaign. I think if we can get good results against Ipswich, Coventry, and Bradford, it'll certainly show whether we've done well in our recruitment. If we can get wins against those kind of teams, it should place us in a decent position in terms of if we get promoted, we can compete against teams from the Premier League. In that manner, it'll be a good test, as it always is against any team at this kind of level. Hopefully we will be able to sort out. John Macken has finally agreed a loan move. He has gone to Bristol City, who actually got relegated to the 2nd division. And in doing so, their rivals, Bristol Rovers, actually got promoted to our division. So John Macken's gone to Bristol City for a season at the level below us. I think it'll be a good place for him to get some first team football under his belt. And hopefully, if he comes back and he's had a good season, we might be able to sell him for a decent profit at that point. He's not a player that I'm going to look to keep around now, I don't think. So we'll see what happens from there. So for the game against Preston, we've got Nicky Weaver in goal, Robinson, Smith, Van Boyton and Carr at the back, Pollock and Murphy in midfield, with Humphreys, Bellamy and Davis in behind Calcourt once again. We're going to take the cut quite seriously. We could rotate a little bit, but I don't want to take any chances. And it'll be a strong lineup for this game. I'm hoping for more of the same, to be quite honest. I'm quite happy with the changes that the assistant has looked to making with Danny Murphy coming in. Danny Murphy was one of our best players last season, but because of the options we now have, we're in a position where we can rotate and potentially keep players a lot fitter than last season, because at times we were really struggling for player fitness. But here we go, we're finally underway with this away game against Preston. And again, I'm hoping for a good, solid start with Jamie Pollock here with a set piece. And there's the header. It's Daniel Van Boyton. Brilliant attacking of the set piece there. And it's 1-0, 4 minutes gone. Daniel Van Boyton on the score sheet straight away. Brilliant stuff. And we have a 1-goal lead in this cup tie. Lonergan looks long here for Preston, looking for Nogan. It's cleared away. Here's Calcourt into Danny Murphy. Danny Murphy back to Van Boyton. This is Stephen Carr. Stephen Carr plays it long for Kevin Davis. Kevin Davis looking inside. Plays it to Richie Humphreys. It's a good effort, but it's a good save from Lonergan. And the chance is done. Lonergan looks to deliver long. Here's Jamie Pollock. He manages to win possession. This is Paul Robinson. Inside to Danny Murphy. Jamie Pollock again. Jamie Pollock to Richie Humphreys. Plays it forward here for Craig Bellamy. Craig Bellamy looking inside. Can he get the ball across? Yes, he can. It's Calcourt's header. It's 2-0. Only 9 minutes gone here and we have a 2-goal lead. And we're looking for a safe passage here into the next round of this Coca-Cola Cup. Here's Derby. Back to Yates. Into Studley. Studley into Derby. Stephen Carr wins it from McKenna. Brilliant stuff from Stephen Carr. Charges down this right-hand side. He's been brought down by McKenna there, but he's managed to do it without fouling him, and we've retained possession in the end anyway. Here's Jamie Pollock, inside to Mark Smith, who's on the edge of the Preston half. He looks over the top here to Richie Humphries, who just about keeps it in. Lays it back to left back Paul Robinson. Danny Murphy, Richie Humphries. I'm not sure why Danny Murphy didn't have the strike there, but it was a well-worked move, and it remains 2-0. Really, really good start from us again in this game going forward. We're dominating, we're creating a lot of chances, as you can see from the top left of the screen, and we're dominating possession as well. Really, really positive stuff from us, and hopefully we can continue in this vein throughout the campaign. Well, despite the fact that we're creating plenty of chances, not many highlights are coming through at the moment, but we are looking quite strong after them 2 early goals. And as you can see by that match momentum part that's come in the centre of the screen, it's all in our favour. Preston are not seeing a lot of the ball at all, and they still haven't had a single attempt at goal. So I'm really, really positive about this first half. It's much more like it, and defensively we've been extremely solid, and that's just how we need to be throughout this season. Well, it's a 2 goal lead at half time, and yep, can't complain at that at all. We don't want any complacency. A 2 goal lead is reasonably safe, but we don't want any chances being taken by any of the team. Here's Hughes now with the throw into Williams, and he whips it across looking for McKenna. Stephen Carr does well to get it away, and now Kevin Davis charging down this right hand side. He has support in the centre if he can find it. He looks long and over the top. Danny Murphy was chasing, but Yates managed to get there. Davis with a brilliant, surely that wasn't a header, but here's Paul Robinson now to Jamie Pollock. Looks over the top, and Richie Humphries has got there, but he can't find Cal Cobb. It's come out wide to Kevin Davis, and Craig Bellamy scores. It's his first competitive goal for us. He scored a lot in pre-season, like I say. It's 3-0, and we are set for a place in the second round here of the Coca-Cola Cup. Here's Stephen Carr, just holding onto the ball quite comfortably, looking over the top. Kevin Davis has got pace, and he's beaten the defender to it here, and he plays it across, and it's bundled over. And Cal Court, I think, won the header and clipped it off the crossbar. Oh, offside was given. That's why it stopped, I see. Offside against Cal Court, but again, really good creativity from the side, and going forward we are looking very, very strong at the moment. We are going to make some changes for this last half an hour. Craig Bellamy, we're going to switch to the left hand side. Humphries has been a bit quiet today. We're going to bring I think we'll bring Jason Kumas on for some game time. We're going to bring Damien Francis on in midfield. I think we're going to take Jamie Pollock off. We're going to bring Matt Upson on for his debut. We'll take Van Boyton off just because he's on a yellow card, and my personal favourite, Sean Wright Phillips, he's going to come on for Kevin Davis, who again has had a phenomenal game. Kevin Davis, he's been really creative, and he's just played it forward here to Kyle Court, whose strike took a huge deflection, and Preston managed to bundle it away. Substitutions have now taken place. It's a good opportunity for the likes of Upson and Kumas to come back into the side. Likewise with Damien Francis. Upson, of course, it's his debut, so... But look, I mean, Preston haven't had a single attempt at goal. We've absolutely dominated them today, and this is the kind of football that we want to play. They've finally had a shot in the 76th minute. It was off target, but this is the kind of domination we need, and if we're going to do well this season, we have to be on point. Wayne Bridge is going to come on at the end here for Craig Bellamy. We don't want any injuries to the key players, and as the game looks set to finish here, it's going to be a 3-0 victory here in this first round of the Coca-Cola Cup. Nearly said Capital One Cup there, that's the current one, of course. Really, really positive start to the campaign. 10 goals scored in 2 games. Cannot argue with that at all. We looked really solid in that cup tie as well. Really happy with the performance. And we move on to the second round of the cup. So looking at the actual match schedule, we've got quite a few games coming up in August, and we've got plenty to get through in that manner anyway. Obviously the transfer window will finish as well. So what I'll probably do, I'll get through all those games off camera, and we'll come back for the couple of games in September. It's halfway through September when the games actually start, probably because of an international duty. So we'll come back for the home game against former Premier League side Bradford and the away game against QPR, and hopefully we'll be continuing in our good form, which, as you can see from pre-season, we had one draw away at Basel, but in terms of the rest, we play a few local teams to start off with just to get some match fitness into the side. But then from the rest of the games, as you can see, we've done really well in pre-season. But so, yeah, we'll come back for Bradford and QPR. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this series so far, and I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.